Pittsburgh. It's not that nice, at least not this part of town. Whoa. I think we almost just had a car accident. Anyway, people can tell from the title, I'm here. This is an interesting trip. I got a tip from a pretty well-known investigator who I think Crowdsource the Truth viewers are probably aware of. I don't want to name this person. Not a transgender person, but we'll call the person them to protect the identity. They, them, said they were investigating for someone. I don't know who. I just had lunch at this big Jim's. Very good, I would say. You know, this is like honest food made by honest people, homemade stuff, delicious Italian wedding soup and eggplant parm. Very tasty, I have to say. Wonderful meal. But this is a kind of a crappy part of town. No offense to anybody who lives here. We got an extremely attractive hostess in there, kind of a Pittsburgh style. There's a certain style of hot chick in Pittsburgh who looks like they would kick my ass, but still hot. Anyway, I came over here because this person told me that they were investigating for someone. I was not told who. And so I drove here after DC. It was a long drive. And this is a very economically depressed, I mean, look around. It doesn't look that nice. Driving in, it's really a pretty rundown. Take a look at this. Not that nice, and it's raining and everything adds to the sort of miserableness of it. But I don't know, I mean, everybody says America's the greatest country in the world. I think we gotta clean up towns like this before we can really say that. Charles would tell us Singapore and stuff like that. Not like this, but I came here searching for Maxwell Yearick. The person who gave me this tip told me they entered the apartment, the home, and actually saw and spoke with Max Yearick. Now, when the person told me that, I said, I don't know if that's correct, because there's so much evidence that that guy is dead and on the roof. Now, it is true, we don't yet know exactly what went on in Richard Gianvito's phone. How's it going, man? Hey, do you know Max Yearick?
Nope.
Yeah. Nobody knows him. This restaurant here, Jim, Big Jim, the lady working in there, she said she's been working there like 12 years. That's his apartment, allegedly, right over there. I find it hard to believe this restaurant would not know the guy if that was in fact his home. Now, the other thing I did is, this was fantastic. I thought we would have had something. So when I arrived here, there was a Jeep Wrangler parked behind that Subaru WRX right there. I ran the plate on that WRX. It's a New Jersey plate. Recent owner, it's a 2018 car. It was 22,000 bucks. Doesn't tell me the name. I think you need to be the cops to know that. And I know right over there is some mail that does not say Maxwell Yearick on it. So I just don't think that he lives here or ever did. When I was searching for Maxwell Yearick addresses, that didn't show up. But one thing that I did do in preparation for this trip, I upgraded the dash cam in my car to 4K. And I came over here, I thought this was going to be great. I parked up the street where the rear camera could see this Subaru and the Jeep Wrangler. Then when I came out from having my meal at Big Jim's, I noticed the Jeep was gone, and I said, ooh, that's thrilling. Maybe we'll see Maxwell Yearick walk out of his apartment there and get into his Jeep. Nah, there's two people coming out of this restaurant. He doesn't live there. There's a retail thing in the ground floor, and the name of the person who lives there corresponds to the mail right there. It's not Max. So this was a big trip. And by the way, it would have been thrilling to see a living Maxwell Yearick. Certainly would have added intrigue to this growing mystery of exactly what the hell went on in Butler, PA. We still don't quite know. Palmer Luckey insists that horseflies and dragonflies and cicadas and moths were flying around. I don't know if that's true. The frequency of the wing flapping, it seems not organic to me. It seems electronic, electromechanical even. And then this morning I found some pico drones, flapping pico drones. Sometimes people don't understand what I'm getting at. There's a company called, I think Flapping Drones, something like that. I put it on X. If you're not following on X, you're really not following the investigation. Get on there at JG_CSTT. I'm not saying that what we're looking at in the video from the police body cam in Butler was from that company, Flapping Drones. I'm just showing that as an example of a technology that somebody has made and is demonstrating on YouTube. And I think it's fair to presume that if someone is demonstrating a technology on YouTube, perhaps a similar, even more sophisticated technology exists elsewhere. Just this concept of a flapping nano drone or even a pico drone, very small. The guy who creates these flapping drones, he says, you will notice it looks very much like an insect in flight. I was fixated on that comment because it just seems to me that would be irresistible to the military to create a swarm of like pico drones that even when you look at them with your own eyes or on video, it looks like an insect. But what if instead of one Teledyne FLIR Black Hornet drone, which looks like it's about 4 to 6 inches. We don't know. You got to order the technical diagrams and specifications. They don't want to just give them out to anybody. But you see a guy holding it in his hand. The thing is 4 inches, 6 inches, something like that. And it's a helicopter. It's a little mini helicopter, but it's got the world's smallest infrared camera. That's FLIR, right? Teledyne must have bought FLIR. FLIR. What does that stand for again? I forget. I've used those cameras. But it's the world's smallest one, and it's shooting higher resolution apparently than Detective Gianvito's phone. Or at least what we got from it. And then it's got 5 other cameras in it. And it's got collision detection and all kinds of stuff. So I'm saying if you could make a 4 to 6 inch drone with 5 cameras in it like that, what if you could make one even tinier, maybe 1 inch, just one sensor, and flapping wings? I don't know. Maybe it is a moth, maybe it is a horsefly, or maybe it's an electromechanical flapping drone. And maybe a swarm of those drones is controlled by an artificial intelligence network, perhaps like the Anduril lattice. I'm not saying that's happening. I'm just looking at existing technologies and wondering what we might not know about. And I think it could be possible. It's interesting to see the things that I say that Palmer Luckey wants to talk about and the things that he doesn't. But you know, we almost had a really exciting video where I could have, telephoned Max Yearick and had him come downstairs and let me in. I don't think that would have happened because I don't think the guy lives here. I think he's dead. That's what I think, just from looking at public domain evidence. You might see that same evidence and come to a different conclusion, but we're going to keep looking. Like I said, sometimes when you come to run things down, like I couldn't get the license plate from cars that were parked in front there, just from Google Earth. They blur them out. And that's not his car. And the Jeep that was there is not his car. And it's a rainy day. Where would the guy be? Does he have a job? Wouldn't we know about that if he did? Like, it's a rainy Monday. I think he's dead. That's it for today's video. Have a nice day. Thanks for tuning in. Wait, before I go, don't forget everyone, gasoline, hotels, if you enjoy this kind of research, Please become a sponsor if you aren't already. Odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. For only $3 a month plus a 58-cent Odyssey fee, you're supporting independent technology, Odyssey, the company, and independent journalism. Crowdsource the truth. I don't think anybody else is looking this deeply into Max Yearick. Maybe I'm wrong. It's interesting, Pittsburgh has all these steel bridges around. It's a depressing neighborhood. My apologies. Don't mean to be rude. My opinion. Anyway, that's it. No Max Yearick. Have a nice day.